Alright. Welcome everybody. We're back. It's Zenith Online Racing. It's round 6 of Tier 1. We are in Mexico for the Mexican Grand Prix. And I hear a car firing up. I bet you any money it's Packer. Who's out first? It's Packer. Always on time. There he goes. Let's get this session underway. We are here for 18 minutes of qualifying. Round 6, championship getting close. Lando has been closing in on Packer with a few really strong results. Packer needs to go out and win this race here today. Reestablish that stranglehold on the championship. See what he can do. He's on his out lap currently. Other drivers out as well. We've got Maverick out, who secured the Tier 2 championship last season here at Mexico. He'll have fond memories of that, and he'll be looking to turn that into some good result and get himself a big chunk of points. He hasn't been fighting for a podium yet. We could see that tonight. He's going to need a really solid result to get himself into championship contention. Probably will just be happy with a few good results this season after the promotion to Tier 1. Puff also out. Actually, sorry, Puff not out, but Puff also promoted from Tier 2 last season, as well as Eric. Eric has had some really strong races, actually, in Tier 1. Even though he arguably could have been in Tier 2 this season, he's done really, really well. So, on board with Packer now, starting his first flying lap. He's got a lot of traffic ahead of him here. Surely will be some kind of distraction, but using up all the circuit. There's Puff moving out of the way nicely. Packer with that DRS wide open, blowing down the straight as well as the leaves. And he's approaching Frog, who gets out of the way nicely, so reserve driver out here doing well to stay clear of the guy on the hot lap. Good to see Frog debut for him. Full-time reserve driver, so he will be here regardless of numbers if there's an open seat. And already showing that he knows the rules, which is exactly what we want to see out here in Tier 1. So purple sector for Packer, obviously. First guy on a hot lap. A little bit of a lockup there, but gets the car rotated nicely. And he's going to cut the track so shortly, barely stays on, and it's a 13.4. So we were running a quick practice before this. Who else did we have on a hot lap here? Maverick, I believe. Let's get back to Maverick. Let's see what he does. Packer, though, 112.9 in the practice before this session, so definitely more time in that lap. We'll probably see a lot of that come through track evolution, come also through Packer evolution, as he does week in, week out. Usually goes out and beats his top time. A lot of guys crossing the line now. Let's check the map out, see if we can find somebody. T-Money has invalidated. Got a Mercedes about to come around. Is that Jinnit about to finish a lap? It is. Jinnit going for his first hot lap. That's a 13.8 for Jinnit. That's a really solid time. Into the 13s, well ahead of everybody else on the 14. So nice lap from Jinnit there. Lando making his way around. Beck. I thought I was talking to him. Beck on the hot lap. Let's ride with Beck for this one. He's been pretty quick the last couple of weeks, and he's been a little more consistent this season, scoring those points early in the year. So let's see what Beck can do on his hot lap. Got a bit of traffic ahead of him. We got a yellow flag. Sure about someone just getting out of the way or has lost it. Beck trying to get a little bit of a tow here. Yeah, big lock up there. You see that big plume of smoke at the back of the car. And he is pushing, it seems, even though he has a lap down. Yeah, nice turn in there. Hooked it up well. Oh, he's cut it just ever so slightly. And that's going to cost him the lap time. It looked like a pretty quick lap, though. Now let's get down to... See when he's getting out of the way here. It looks like nobody really on a hot lap at the moment. Except for maybe Doff. Maybe going for a second push lap as he invalidated. Trying to get in on the mediums, it seems. Doff with those mediums. And he's invalidated, so surely he'll be giving up on this idea now. Puff has gone back into the pits. He must have invalidated as well. So, early struggles for a few guys out here. J. Cole on a flyer. Let's ride with J. Cole. That creamsicle helmet, the orange creamsicle, by far the best creamsicle flavor. It's not even close. Yet, normally the orange flavor in every other treat is kind of shitty. But creamsicle, there's something magic about that one. Anyways, tribute to the creamsicle. Beautiful helmet there for J. Cole. Driving the Mercedes, number 98. Nice looking car, that Mercedes. You got that red star there, memory of Niki Lauda. A subtle little tribute from them. Alright, J. Cole. Done his lap. Who else do we got out there? Puff looks like he's on a flyer. Let's ride with Puff, see what he can do, and he's invalidated as well. And that's just frustrating. Frustrating for a lot of people, I feel. Packer going for another run already, which he normally doesn't do in qualifying. He usually sits to the end, but obviously not very happy with that 13-4. Feels like he's got more in the bag. And wants to post it up on the board early. He's up 2/10 there. That would put him close to his personal best, but not quite there. Big lockup, that's probably going to hurt. See how he does out of the final turn here. Rotation is good, but gets on that exit curve and just has to hesitate on the throttle a bit. So 13-2, gains a tiny bit more in Sector 3, but not a ton. Joshua looks like he is done a hot lap already, it seems. 0 laps, guys. Ryan on a flyer. Let's ride with Ryan, the Alfa Romeo. Be nice to get the cars looking, I guess the new game we'll have to wait for, but all the new liveries next year are going to be really nice. A lot of driver changes as well. Watching some preseason testing over the weekend. And, yeah, it's got me in the Formula 1 mood, no doubt. So we're here for qualifying, halfway through the session now. And for a nice long race in Mexico as well. Mexico, a pretty long race compared to the last two we had. We had Brazil and Austria back-to-back, very short races. But now we're going to have a bit of a longer one, so especially if it rains or we see some safety cars, Mexico gets to be quite a long circuit. I think it's close to 46 minutes or something race time, which is on the higher end. Singapore, I think, is the longest at 48 or something along those lines, but Ryan with the 14.8, so decent lap there from Ryan. Needs to get a little more time in the bag, though, if he wants to improve. So Durnia, ride with him now in the Ferrari. Making his way through the first sector. Nice little straight here, get some DRS. Decent spot for overtaking, but if you're not getting it done down that big long straight, the main one, probably slimmer chances through here as you've eaten all your battery up. And definitely once you get to Sector 2, There's really no room for overtaking. You can maybe chuck one down the inside as you enter the stadium, but that would be ill-advised, as the DRS detection point is after this. So you're likely going to get passed anyway. Someone has gone around there. Not sure who that was. The Racing Points or a Haas, perhaps? See what Dernier can do. Looking pretty sharp here. 13.9, so he slides into the 13s as well. We got J. Cole and Jinnit very close together. Dernier attacking onto the back of them, and Packer well ahead at this point. Lando has not set a lap yet, so we'll see what he can do. We'll ride with Lando. Speak of the devil, there he is on track. And we'll ride on board with Lando now. So staking his claim in the championship hunt over the last few weeks after missing the early part of the season. It looks like he's all over the place again here. Car looks just really jumpy, so I wonder if there's a potential for another desync issue. We had a desync issue last week, and it was hard to decide who won the race. I think Lando did. We were debating it quite heavily because we weren't sure what was going to happen. But yeah, Lando, it looks like he's invalidated, so he's slowing down now. Anybody else on a lap? Puff Digital making his way through the stadium section. He's kept this one clean, so he just needs to get to the end here. And hopefully he doesn't hit this traffic in front of him, then it's going to be very distracting. And there he goes, nice and smooth on the throttle. This looks like a good lap from Puff. 14.4. Not good enough for the top 10, and it is very tight. 14.1 is 5th, and 14.8 is 14th. So, again, that midfield, very much like the real-life counterpart Formula One. We do have very dense midfield, very, very close together. All the cars and drivers separated by only 7/10 or so. And then a few guys out front, just class of the field, seems week in, week out. But J. Cole looking to disrupt that pattern a little bit this week, hopefully, and Jinnit as well, who's been pretty strong here in Tier 1. He actually was promoted from Tier 2 as well, but has put his assists back on, so he kind of was a pretty quick Tier 1 driver with those assists before. Not surprising to see him fighting near the front. Puff got a lot of airtime there. His lap is already done. Beck about to finish, or actually Beck just starting a lap, so we got Zamoglis also out on a lap. Looks like he is closer to being done that lap. Let's ride with Zamoglis. He's 7 currently, so one of the quicker midfield guys, but nonetheless stuck in that midfield area with Axton, Maverick, Camden, Joshua, Puff, Dernier as well. Usually, right? It's actually Dernier sort of the head of the field today, so far in qualifying. Go Renault. Alright, we got a Renault fan. That's Bag of Bones, also a steward. He's not really supposed to be cheering for any particular team. Gotta keep that neutrality, so just delete that comment. Pretend that never happened. Thought I saw 2 comments there, but I only see 1. Yeah, no cheering for your team. Doth on a flyer. Let's ride with Doth, going through Sector 2. So Puff in the Renault, his teammate 14.498, just outside that top 10. Let's see if Doth can sneak in. Doth has invalidated, so Doth will not sneak in. He needs to get a lap up on the board, and he needs to go right into the pits here. He wouldn't. I don't think he would have had time for another lap if he hadn't invalidated this. I think he would have been done for. Maybe a blessing in disguise, depending on what kind of time he was going to set there. Here goes Camden. He's invalidated, so he's going to run out of time. A lot of guys. Actually, Camden Interesting. Camden is cutting the track, which is absolutely not allowed. To try and save time to get back around to do another run. He's, for some reason, done 3 laps on these tires. And I know it explicitly says in the rules that you can't cut the track to save time in qualifying if you put yourself in a position where you're not going to get back out there. So Camden jeopardizing his race here by committing a plethora of illegal moves here. He's going to get dinged heavily for this one. Unfortunately, that was caught on camera, and he's going to be in big trouble. What do you say, Bones? Yep, yeah, there you go, Bones. Puff does do well in quali. Camden, there you go, Packer. Camden, I think, has given himself a penalty at least here for cutting the track to try and get back out. And you know what? He might not even get back out there. So he's probably just leaving now, so he's going to be in trouble. He's going to lose a lot of time for doing that, penalty-wise, and he's probably not even going to get back out and get a lap done. Yeesh. Yeah, he hasn't even left yet. He's done. So Camden, I don't understand why he did that. That is very peculiar. Maybe he realizes that he's been busted, and he's thinking, well, if I don't go set a lap, then I didn't gain anything from it. That's probably the argument. I think maybe he gets away with it in that sense. What do you think? I don't know. Some speculation there. Still illegal nonetheless, but he didn't actually gain anything if he just sits in the pit now. He's probably better off starting P9 or 10. So my apologies. Obviously distracted by illegal behavior. I have missed who's on a hot lap so far, but J. Cole looks like he's about to wrap one up, so we'll watch him do the final 2 turns here. The sweeping right-hander curls it across the line. That's a really good time from J. Cole. He's just behind Packer. Lando has jumped Packer. There he goes, Lando into P1 for the time being. Packer is on his out lap. I don't think Packer's going to get... Is Packer going to get this in? Yeah, he's going to get this in. Just barely. So, Jinnit on a flyer, getting a little toe from Puff there. Puff not wanting to give him much, though. Packer is good. He'll definitely get that lap in. Jinnit is on a flyer. Who else is on? We got a lot of guys on hot laps right now. Axton, looks like both AlphaTauris are going through. There's T-Money and JXW just ahead, so JXW looks like he's up 6/10. That would put him probably not very high up. See what he can do here. Yeah, up into 13th, so not what he was hoping for. T-Money actually out-qualifies him. Checking with Axton what's across the line. And Axton up into P5, so good move there from Axton, jumping a few places. Jinnit making his way down the mini back straight. He's about to finish his lap. Then we got a few guys behind McLaren, it looks like. That'd be Beck. And then a couple other cars. Trying to figure out who. Too many colors look the same. Oh, someone has gone around. It looks like Red Bull. And here comes Packer through the stadium section. He's down. I think Lando's going to get this. It says Packer's down at 10th and a half. He needs to find a lot of time here. I don't think he's got it there. Maybe just enough on that throttle. No, he didn't get it. I thought he got him. No, Packer 300ths behind there in qualifying. So that'll be a Lando on pole. Unless Zamonglis has something to say about it. No, because he had a moment there. Whoops, looks like 2 cars nearly collided. Oh, yes, they did. Yeah, because there's a big piece of wing flying down the track there. We'll have to clean that up before the race. Looks like it for qualifying. So Lando takes pole. Packer will go P2. J. Cole and Jinnit 3 and 4 in the Mercedes. Nice run from them. Beck goes into P5. That's a nice lap from Beck. He's doing well in quali. Axton P6. Durnia P7. Zem P8. Doth P9. Frog will go P10. Joshua P11. Camden P12. Maverick 13th. Puff 14th. Wow. I mean, we got some really quick drivers down the field here. T-Money, JXW, Ryan, Porchy Dude, and Eric, all at the back. This is going to be a lot of good racing for no points tonight. Forget the racing 4 points. So that's it. It looks like Camden realized he'd gotten busted and decided to park his car to make sure he didn't get penalized. What's going on there, Packer? What are you uhing about? We stuck? Yeah, the lobby's been kind of slow. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a little odd tonight. But yeah, Camden cut a lot of corners, and I think if he'd gone and put that lap on the, like, gone out and gotten his lap in that he rightfully shouldn't have had time for, arguably would have been penalized for sure. I think he'll probably get away with it now because he didn't gain anything out of that. But Biggest sees everything. You can't sneak one by us. You know, the ZOR stewards got me on their side. I'm always watching out for sneaky stuff. Mostly because I just aimlessly roam around the roster and I don't really know where I'm going sometimes. And I happen to catch people doing weird things. I think people think they can get away with it, right? Because there's only like one guy watching. I don't know. I don't think anybody's ever done it and gotten away with it. I mean, at least on camera. If you see it on camera, it's a done deal. Anyways, gonna be getting this race fired up shortly. Puff Digital, the race director, he will ready up when it's time to go, or at least at a certain time we will be ready. Not too sure what's going on here. Imagine we're just waiting for a certain time to tick over. Man, my ankle is sore. Must be getting some weather or something, because this is the one I messed up like a year ago. The ankle diaries during the intermission. Most days it's pretty good. It's the odd day it gets kind of sore. I'd say like 98% of my days it's fine. Alright, session is starting. J. Cole has ready, JXW is ready, so assuming we had a time that we were aiming for. Those guys are living in the future. 15 seconds till we get this formation lap underway. The Mexican Grand Prix. It's round 6 here in Zenith Online Racing. This is the Tier 1 crew. I'm Arbega. I didn't introduce myself at the start of the stream. But you know who I am by now. No engine noise? Okay, no, we're good. I was thinking, oh no, this is going to be a terrible race. I'll just put some music on or something. Alright, see what tire everybody's on. Take that telemetry off. Don't need that. So everybody outside the top 10 on mediums, except for Ryan on softs, and then Portuguese and Eric have gone hard, which I don't think is a bad idea. You know, if you're on the hards, it kind of keeps you in a position where you're not feeling desperate to do anything silly at the start because you're on hard tires, you're going very long. You can make up your time on track. You don't need to make moves or do any dive bombing or anything like that. Also, they're probably thinking that with the train of cars ahead of them running so close together, they'll probably be able to hang with the group and not lose too much time, even with the worst compound, and then they can get themselves up the field a little bit. During the pit stop window, all the soft runners will fall behind. Medium runners will have to pit before they do. Looking at a 2-stop race here. What do you guys think? Lost the chat there for a second. I'm not sure if anybody said anything. We're just about ready for the race. We got Lando on pole. Packer is P2, and J. Cole and Jinnit in the Mercedes 3 and 4. They'll be looking to work together to make an impact here. Beck slotted in P5, Axton P6, Durnia P7, Zimaglis is in P8, Dotha hoist a lone Renault in the top 10, P9, and Frog LaBelle making his debut inside the top 10. Arguably the worst place to start on the softs. So that is the grid reforming. Let's get back to the front. Let's get this thing underway. It's Zenith Online Racing. This is Tier 1. It's Round 6, the Mexican Grand Prix. Got 5 lights on, and they're off. We are racing here in Mexico. Looks like Packer off to a really good start here. He's going to get that nice toe into turn 1. How's everybody else doing behind? We got Packer there really using that slipstream, and he goes to the outside here for the move. All the cars filing through the corner. Everybody getting through nice and clean. We got 3 wide there. Everybody leaving space. Nice job from the Tier 1 guys here. Getting through the first few corners nice and clean. Let's get back to the front here. Looks like Packer has gotten the lead for the time being, or is Lando lagging a little bit here on... I just see a lag. Hopefully it's not a desync issue again. But Lando has lost P1 for the time being. J. Cole now applying the pressure as well. Jinnit has slid down the order a little bit here in P7. So back up to P4. Durnia in P5 and Axton in P6. So a little bit of movement for some guys on the opening lap there. Got Maverick trying to make a move here on Camden. Nothing really doing in it at the moment. And looks like Packer extending that lead well. Lando starting to trail off behind J. Cole. Keeping touch for the time being, but he's really left Beck in the dust behind, so Beck going to be under pressure here from Durnia, who's gotten off to a really good start in this race. Durnia looking to make a move to the outside, but switches back underneath. Great move to get that inside line. Dummied Beck into that one, and he sends it. They're going wheel to wheel here. Still wheel to wheel, side by side, and Durnia gets that ultimate inside line through the end of the corner sequence and gets the place. No DRS yet, so it's going to be tough for Beck to fight that back. Some really good action here on lap 2. Oh, Lando. Yeah, looks like Lando is a desync, I think. No, we just have... okay, no, he's good. I think he's just got a bad connection, but it's Doth in first, apparently, which is wrong. So it's actually Packer, Lando, and J. Cole at the front, and Durnia has slid into P4. Beck going to be at the front of this little train forming behind. Look at all these cars snaking their way through the stadium section. Down all the way to Camden here. And then there's a sizable gap back to Joshua, and then T-Money, JXW. So all the guys at the back really falling away early in this session. Maverick is way behind Puff. I don't know if he's got some wing damage here. Not too sure if he just had a mistake or something, but Doth well behind the group, so I have no idea what's happened here, but Doth is, he must... Oh, Doth has pit, so Doth had pit for a fresh set of mediums. He must have had some wing damage he needed to get rid of, and turned it into a 2-stop race for sure at this point. Here comes Puff. Portugude looking a little scruffy out of the corner. So Puff making a move here, gets that line into the corner, and Puff is ahead. Nice little move there, taking advantage of Portugude getting scruffy out of the exit. Here comes Lando. He's starting to reel Packer back in a little bit, so we do have a bit of a fight here. J. Cole has not lost touch either, so the front 3 breaking away. Durnia breaks away from Beck. He's slotted into P4 in a nice, strong spot there. These guys out front are very quick, but Durnia will be happy to be sitting in a nice little pocket there in P4. It'd be a nice haul of points if he can stay there. Here comes Lando with the slipstream. Got that DRS now. And the overtake button activated. So Lando down the inside. Packer can't do anything with that DRS on. And Packer now slotting back into P2. Another overtake here. Axton and Beck side by side. Axton trying to get around Beck, who slid down the order a few times. Already he's lost about 3 places here. Or 2 places, I guess, now. Comes Jinnit down the inside with a very late move, and Jinnit has made contact with... Oh, and then Beck with a clumsy move in himself. I don't know what Jinnit was thinking, honestly. That was never there. It was never there. And he nearly got Durnia, too. Or, sorry, Axton. Was it Axton he nearly tagged? Because Axton and Beck were dueling, and then Axton got the place, and Beck... Jinnit just looked like he ran out of braking room there. He just missed the corner and nearly hit Axton as well, and drove right down the inside. Oh, Portudude is out. What has happened there? Portudude is still moving and he's retired. I wonder if he's retired on track. That would be a very silly thing to do. Not too sure. This car is gone. Looks like it has parked on track, but they got cleared, so I'm not sure if he did that intentionally or if he lost a wheel maybe. Just slid there. It looked like the car was still going though, so it's a bit bizarre. Nonetheless, Packer using that DRS to keep in touch with Lando. He's not going to let him get away that easily. Zamoglis under pressure from Axton, Frog, Camden trailing behind, but Beck, Joshua, Jinnit has stayed out. I think Jinnit spun but didn't get damage. His wing looks okay actually, so kind of got away with that. Very clumsy maneuver though. Nice shot of the cars in the stadium section there. Coming over the curb. Are we going to get some rain potentially here? I did not get a weather update. It does look like it's getting a little darker. I'm not sure if we're going to be getting rain here. Chat's very lively tonight. We have all of 5 comments in there. If you're new here, let us know. Tell us what you love about F1. Let me know if you've been watching some preseason testing, who looks good, what drivers look good. If you're a fan of any particular driver on track here tonight, let us know in the chat. It's always fun interacting with the fans, so... 13 people watching at the moment. Good to have everybody here. One day it'll be millions. I just know it. Packer still hanging on to Lando with that DRS, but has not made a move yet. You can see got a lot of juice in the tank. Should be able to do something with that sooner than later. And all these guys through the field here, you know, there's a couple little gaps, but mostly we have cars running together, battling for places, so it's good to see. We got J. Cole well behind the front runners now. Durnia in his own little bubble. Zamoglis in his own little... Well, actually, Zamoglis is in a bubble, but it's a bigger bubble. It's got Axton and Frog tagging along. Camden leading a small train here. Here comes Beck looking to make a move down the inside, so Beck is going to get that place with that soft tire. So Camden on the mediums sitting in a good spot in P9 at the moment. Wow, thanks Bones. Best Canadian. Oh man, there's a lot of great Canadians. A lot better than me, but I guess I'm okay. Best Canadian F1 driver. I guess you have to say Jacques Villeneuve, right? Just because he won the championship. I mean, Stroll, he's had his moments, but I wouldn't say he's great. And Latifi just... Yeah. Latifi leaves something to be desired as a Canadian fan, I have to admit. Stroll, I think, has better on-track performance than Latifi. But it seems to eat more shift for it. I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, Camden really under pressure here from Jinnit. So Jinnit, after making that mistake, tagging, he hit Beck. He's fighting back. He's right on Beck's tail now. And sends it on Camden. So Camden trying to stay there. There's no love lost between these two. Camden fighting back on those medium tires. These two had a really big incident a couple weeks ago, and no love lost here at all. They're going wheel to wheel. It's a very tricky place for an overtake, but they're still side by side, leaving that room, giving each other the respect. Doing very nicely here. Unfortunately, I cannot take a phone call right now. My apologies, my good friend. Still side by side, and they kept it clean the whole time. Credit to both drivers there. Very easy to be overly aggressive when you've had a history with somebody. And, yeah, both drivers doing very nicely there to keep it clean. So good to see. Because we have seen it in the past where things like this can carry over, and it's not a good vibe for anybody. Here comes Jinnit, looking to fight this thing back, and we got two cars close behind as well, but Jinnit and Camden, a real battle here. Jinnit moving to the outside. Camden has to tuck in. He just cannot fight that with the DRS, and we got side-by-side action back here as well with T-Money, Joshua, and then Packer about a second behind them. Look, it's Camden has gone off. So he's under threat here from Joshua. Here comes Mr. Joshua. Strong and steady every race, and sends it down the inside. Gets that move done. Excellent overtake there from Mr. Joshua. Let's move back up the field here. Axton still pressuring his teammates and Moglis. And J. Cole. It says he's right behind Lando, but I don't see Lando anywhere. Lando's way up the road. Okay. I think Lando is desynced again. Packer speeding the pits. Thanks, Bones. Nice catch there. J. Cole in. T-Money at the back of a train here. He's going to be trying to get by these guys. Oh, Camden with a big wobble there. I think T-Money might have a crack at Camden here with that wobble, but we're going to see Packer getting by. No problem. Can Packer make the next move against Joshua? No, he has to sit behind. So some really good, interesting racing going on here with the pit stop window opening. I'm just going to reply to my friend, make sure there's nothing crazy happening. Because he did just try to phone me, which is unusual. So, nice move here from J. Cole. Trying to get by Maverick. J. Cole has that fresh pit. Team Money attempted assassination of Mr. Joshua. Did I miss that? I must have missed that. Oh, there's a wobble there, it looked like. Maverick had a moment. Comes Camden down the inside on Joshua. On those medium tires, Camden gets by Joshua, both on mediums. So that is for position, track position. Lando looking to make a move here, just flying on these fresh softs, looking to make a two-stop race here. Ooh, Beck tries to fight that back, but ends up locking up, and Lando gets the place anyway. I don't know why he tried to fight that on old softs when he's on fresh ones. You know he's got the pace. Going to cost you time doing things like that. Eric pressuring JXW. See if Eric can close in and make a move here. We got Joshua and Camden on the tail of Beck as well, so let's watch this action as they head to the DRS straight. We're a third of the way through this thing. It feels like we've been going for 30 minutes already. So much action packed into the first 12 laps. It's going to be a very interesting finish here. J. Cole looks like he's going to get this move done on Eric, but Eric with that DRS making it a little difficult. J. Cole trying to make 2 moves here, but no, he has to tuck in. It's a little too ambitious to send it there. Should get it done in the next straight, though. JXW on old medium's not going to have that power out of the exit, though. JXW gets a really nice exit there. He might have this covered off. J. Cole's going to be frustrated with that. He needed to get through there and save some time. This sector is going to cost him a lot of time when he's following a car on old tires. JXW making J. Cole's life very difficult here. Some of the guys he was racing with at the front might be able to possibly undercut him now if they were to pit. Lando definitely going to gain, I think, but Lando behind Packer now, so Packer has gotten ahead through the pit stops. Lando's going to have to pit twice. We know that. Packer might be able to get these tires to the end, but he could just be getting that medium stint over with here. But you see Lando with so much pace on the softs. Got those things warmed up already. And Packer going to fight this, but I don't think he's going to be able to. Packer getting that slipstream back, though. Is he able to do anything with it? No, he's going to have to tuck in. Does Packer get DRS here, though? I think he does. Should be a new detection point. No, Packer does not get DRS. It's still Lando. So the detection point for the second one, very important that you'll get it twice no matter what if you get it the first time. The detection for the... there's no detection point for the second straight. Frog having a good debut here. He's mixed himself in there nicely. He's got his pit stop done, and he's back ahead of Axton for now. He's got to get by Zamoglis, who looks like he got the undercut done. Or actually, was Zamoglis ahead, I think. Zamoglis may have been ahead already. Lost track of all this in the pit window. Beck on the hard tires, comes out in 13th behind Goff, and he's got a bit of a cushion. He must have had a penalty to serve, perhaps. Or actually, Beck, is that his second pit stop? He got wing damage or something, I'm not sure. Let's check the stops quickly. No, it's just his first, okay. Maybe he did have wing damage or a penalty to serve. So Joshua trying to hang on to Camden, but he's got J. Cole on his tail. And that's going to prove to be a problem. Joshua is not letting J. Cole through here. He's trying to help his teammate Durnia out as much as he can, and J. Cole does get the place, though. Durnia racing J. Cole, but now about 7 seconds behind him, so he's not really going to be able to close much. It's Moglis trying to hang on to Durnia. Joshua might get a nice tow here from the Camden J. Cole DRS situation. He's extending on these tires. Camden also extending. These guys probably looking to get to that soft window. I'm not sure. At the very least, they could put hards on and get to the end now. Joshua, though, I have to say, is he going to get DRS here? Maybe he should pit and try to undercut Camden. That might be a good idea. If Camden is going to hards, then Joshua could undercut him here by pitting. It looks like they both stay out, so they are looking to extend, I feel, to the softs. Otherwise, you probably want to get out on the hards about now, right? This would be like the hard pit window. Camden really under threat here. Is he going to be able to hold Camden off here? Or, J. Cole. No, he's not. J. Cole is through, so J. Cole carries on in clear air. 10 seconds behind the front runners, Packer and Lando. Packer with a big lock up there trying to reel his rival in, but proving to be a trivial effort regardless. Lando just sort of getting away. I was just going to say the penalties are coming out the wazoo here. We're not even halfway through. We got a lot of penalties, so we're going to check those out quickly, see where everybody's dealing with. Okay, so Packer 5 seconds for speeding. Lando 6, J. Cole 6, Camden 6. Dernia's got 8. Eric 6. A lot of penalties out there. Puff has 8 as well. So, yeah, penalty is going to be a big factor at the end. We'll have to keep an eye on that in the last 5 laps or so. See where it all shakes out for everybody. Frog, LaBelle. Applying some pressure to Zimaglis here. Got Axton for company. He split the Red Bulls who were running nose to tail in the first stint. We have Joshua getting by Camden. See him sailing by on the left there. Camden cannot fight that off. So on the same, I have to say Joshua and Dernia, both really good at extending their stints. They seem to get good pace out of old tires. Joshua especially. Really makes old tires work well, and you can see that as he's gone by Camden here. Camden with a massive walk up behind. So his tires got to be getting pretty rough at this stage. And surely they're going to be taking them at least another 5 or 6 laps to get to that soft window. Comes Frog in a very tricky corner. Goes around the outside of Maverick here. Nice move from Frog, getting some good head-to-head action in his debut. Looking like he fits right in with the Tier 1 crew. Perhaps he'll get himself a full-time seat before the season's said and done. Puff gets another penalty. We got Joshua in the pits for the hards. Going for that undercut. So if Camden is pitting for hards, he would have to go for it now, but I have a feeling Camden can alternate the strategy away from what Joshua is doing. Try and extend to the softs. It's interesting because it's actually quite interesting because sorry, distracted again. Camden seemed to be the slower driver. So to see Joshua go to the hards when he seemed to have a little bit of a pace advantage on the worn tires. Interesting strategy decision there. So looks like Frog is through. Yeah, we knew that. And Zimaglis now back under pressure from his teammate Axton here. Joshua has come out just behind Beck on the hard, so Beck has made up some ground hitting early on onto the hard tires. And it looks like Zem ahead has gotten through on Frog. So Frog's soft's probably starting to fall off a little bit here. Medium tire is going to be working a little bit better in this range, 6-7 lap range. So Frog trying to make a move back, but doesn't have the DRS to do it. So it's pretty much a done deal. Once you get that DRS, so you got 2 straights with it to get the move done. If you get it done on the first one, you're just going to pull away a little bit. Some action here. Dernia and Camden. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. So Dernia on the fresh mediums gets by Camden, so that's going to start to cost Camden some time, but Camden no doubt going for the soft run at the end here. Whereas Joshua has put himself into some traffic here, and he's now fighting back. JXW pressuring Maverick as well on softs. Maverick on fresh hards. So starting to see some gaps form through the field. Just beyond the halfway point now. See all the pit windows sort of shaking things up. And sort of settling the grid down a little bit. Axton closing, but not close enough. Here comes Joshua, going to make a move on back. And he's going to get it done. Slices across the front of the car. JXW gets a move done. Frog pressuring Axton here, trying to get by. Got Maverick behind. I'm going to go just refill this wine. Stay with this battle. So Eric is pit off the hards. Start to see the final runners pitting. Frog is pitting. We'll see how the order shapes up after the pit window ends here for everybody. There's a lot of penalties. Almost every driver in the field has a penalty at the moment. Here comes Maverick, making a move on T-Money, looking to get him back. Now those hards are fired up. T-Money trying to fight this, but to no avail. Maverick is through. So Maverick, fond memories of Mexico, but doesn't look like he'll be getting points at the moment unless he finds a lot of pace here. Beck closing in on Mr. Joshua. We got Zamoglis reeling Camden in, who has not pit off those mediums, so I have to say Camden probably got another lap or two before you can pit to those softs and get to the end. I think they're about a 9-10 lap tire. Camden really trying to stretch them. You can see he's just falling away quickly here. Zamoglis probably going to have to pit as well. I'm not sure you can get these to go another 14 laps. Maybe. I think these soft runners are going to, or the medium runners will pit again. I don't know. That's a question remains to be seen. 10, 11 laps or so. Zem sending it, and Camden just doesn't have the grip to fight that at this stage. Just really struggling for traction, but you get a nice little slipstream here that'll help make up some time. You can see the graining and that dark line down the center of the tire there, looking pretty rough, and on the fronts as well. So Mexico, one of the few counterclockwise circuits, so you do notice a lot more graining on that left tire. You probably can't see, but there it is. Definitely a little bit worse around this circuit. Lando has reeled in J. Cole. So Lando has gone for his second stop, and he's behind J. Cole. He should get through pretty quickly here, and then he'll have to make up 14 seconds to Packer, who I guess Packer needs to stay out, maybe? I don't know. 13 laps. I mean, if Lando's a second a lap quicker than Packer, which he probably will be on fresh mediums, then he's going to go right down to the wire here. I think Packer is in trouble, though, if he pits anyways, so maybe it's worth it to stay out. Try to get to the end. Might be a gamble worth taking. I'm not sure, because I don't think J. Cole and Derny are going to be bringing up the rear too quickly, so he could at least get P2 probably, and he might risk a DNF though if the tire bursts. Oh, there goes Packer! Packer goes round! He has spun the car! Yeah, it is absolutely botched it now. He can't even consider staying out. I think maybe he has to stay out. Doesn't have a choice but to stay out, but he's given up the entire gap to Lando. He's going to be behind everybody else behind, though, as well, like J. Cole, Zem, if he does pit, so he's going to be in trouble, I think. What does he do here? Flat spotted the tires no less to save that thing, and he stays out. Well, those tires are going to be a little more beat up than he would hope at this stage from that big lockup. He had to hold the brakes down to save the car from going into a barrier, and surely has shredded the surface of the tire. Maverick applying the pressure to JXW here, trying to reel him in. These two have been dueling for a couple laps now, and then Frog has joined the party. T-Money pits, 12 laps on the soft, so Camden pits as well, sorry, that's interesting. And he's going to get back out in front of Eric, which is very important because that puts him into clear air, which he really needs here. But he's going to have to fight Frog, who's pit. JXW needs to pit again, surely. Maverick will be staying out, so Camden has quite a bit of work to do still, but he is on a great tire. Just not sure it's going to work for him. Here comes Frog with a really late send down the inside and gets that covered off nicely. JXW applying the pressure to Frog. Lost out that position, but wants to stay on the back. Here comes Packer into the pits, get those mediums off, serving a 5-second penalty as well. So Packer going to have a lot of work to do when he gets back out there, going to soft tires for the final stint. Dernier cruises by. Will Zamoglis get Packer? He might get him. Yeah, Zem's going to get by, I think. Yeah, so Zem is through. Axon is on the back of Packer. Both these guys on the mediums probably, if they're going to pit, they should probably do it now, but they could stay out, these two. Packer will be in clear air shortly, though. Zem and Packer going side by side. Zem yields that place smartly. No point in fighting him. Packer will get by. So Packer 11 seconds behind Dernier. Several penalties are going to come into play. We won't worry about that yet. We'll focus on the action for now, so we have plenty of racing to do still. Frog picks up a penalty. He is applying the pressure to Maverick, and he's got Camden and JXW just behind as well. Eric not far off either. Actually, Eric is close to JXW. Very close. JXW, pretty long on soft. He's going to have to pit again. Will not get to the end. Here comes Eric looking to make a move. On this little streak, got a really good run into the S's, and he does get the move done. Nice camera angle there. Camden closing on Maverick. Not close enough. We got some action up the front here. J. Cole getting by Axton. JXW chasing down Zem. So a few good battles still. We got about 9 laps to go, about 8 really. I guess 9 laps because Lando has crossed the line. Dernia sitting P2, well ahead of Packer for the time being, but way behind Lando. Frog on T-Money. Gonna make a move down the inside. See all that marbling on the right. Eric, Zem, Zenith, all running nose to tail here, applying the pressure. Zem and Zenith on fresh softs, so Eric going to be a bit of a bee in their bonnet right now as they're trying to make their way through. Make the most out of this fresh rubber. Eric getting that DRS is going to make things difficult. Can Zamagos find a way through at least with that slipstream? Zem closing, but I don't think he's going to be close enough for a look. He's going to the outside, just maybe on the brakes. No, Eric gets that covered. So they're fighting for position down here. Packer has reeled in Dernia extremely fast here on these fresh softs. He's closing fast. He actually might get this done right here. Here comes Packer, storming his way back into P2. And doing a nice job to get that move done. Dernia on the old mediums really can't do much. Mr. Joshua has made his way back up to P5 on those hards, so he's having a nice little run here. Get back to the battle back here. Zamagos really under pressure from Zenith. Oh, we got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Someone has going very slow. Is that T-Money perhaps being lapped? I think so. Alright, let's see what Zenith can do. Axton has joined the party. Axton and Zem running very close together all race, but seems to be other cars getting in the mix as well. Zenith under pressure from Axton, using up a lot of that battery. Axton and Zenith bump wheels. And there goes Axton, sweeping across the front of the car and gets through. So Axton back on the tail of his teammate Zamagos, trying to get a move done here. Eric really applying the pressure to Maverick, and these cars very close behind. Maverick covering that inside line nicely. They're still wheel to wheel. Eric with that extra grip around the outside gets the inside line. Maverick begging for some space there. Pushed off the road, and Eric really not leaving any room for Maverick here. But Maverick has something to say about it. He is not going to give up easily. It's almost one of those weird ones where it's like he should have left more room, but can you really penalize him? It's hard to say, right? Maverick surely will be frustrated with that, and he'll be looking to fight this back with that DRS. Just needs to get a good run out of the final corner, and he can easily tackle Eric back into turn 1. Oh, Axton bumps Maverick there. What happened there? Axton trying to make a sneaky move here. We got quite a scrap going on here for P8. Eric leading the helm at the moment, but for how much longer? Axton and Zenith reeling in Maverick. Maverick trying to keep up with Eric here. Maverick doing everything he can to score some points. He is really under pressure, though, from the Red Bull and Mercedes driver behind. Eric is going to be able to get away probably with this. Just some really solid racing action here down for P8. This is the kind of stuff you get in Tier 1. Driving so many great drivers in the field, but racing for only a handful of points looks like this. It's nice to see 4 cars nose to tail. No one really wanted to give an inch to their rival. Maverick really under pressure here. It looks like Axton is going to get him here. And Eric really hasn't gotten away. He should have been taking advantage of this. But he really hasn't. Does Maverick get DRS here? He does. So that's going to help him in his defense. Will aid him in reeling Eric back in. Can Maverick keep the place here? Side by side with Axton. Axton down the inside. They're still wheel to wheel. Axton does get the move done. They have a lot. Yeah, Bones is right. They have a lot. I can show you real quickly here. I'll leave that up for a minute so you can do some math, figure it out. Keep an eye on these intervals for you. Looks like Eric, Axton, Maverick, and Jinnit very close. Axton actually has the least of the penalties. All the other guys have 9, so they are racing head-to-head here for position. Other than Axton, who's going to jump these guys no matter what. Oh, and there goes Eric well off the road. And here comes Axton. It would be very good for Axton to get through here with the least of the penalties. If he gets ahead of Eric, he'll be in a great spot. He'll be able to sort of secure that position, P8. And possibly even more, because they're not too far behind the guys ahead, who both have 6 seconds as well. Axton looks like he's got a really good shot at this thing here. Eric trying to fight this back, but no DRS for Eric, and it looks like he's going to lose that position finally. Axton does get through, and with the least penalties, surely will keep that place. So now it's Eric, Jinnit, and Maverick fighting head-to-head. It looks like Maverick must have had a bit of a moment because Zamoglis is now in a great spot with no penalties. The only driver with no penalties on the grid is Zamoglis. Oh, and there goes Eric. He's gone round. Eric trying to get the thing turned around. He is struggling. Finally gets it pointed the right direction, and he's lost a few places there. Doth has gotten ahead. Doth carrying a lot of penalties as well. Puff having another bad race down in P17. All the Puff fans in the chat. F in the chat for Puff. It's another unfortunate outing for him. He's had a really rough start to the season. Zamoglis. Yeah, Bones F. Big F from Bigatu. That's my guy, and you know, credit to him. He's not just parking the car; he's still out there driving it. So it's just rough to see, you know. He'll get it together eventually, though. Still a long season. I guess we're close to a third of the way through here, though. We only have, what, 19 races? 18 races this season? So, this is about a third of the way through the season. Starting to see the championship battle sort of forming between Packer and Lando. I mean, Lando carrying 12 seconds of penalties, Packer with only 3. And, well, we got a yellow flag, and that's T-Money parking it in the pit lane, it looks like. And he's done for the day. Get that telemetry up for you towards the end. Tires. Tires not terribly important at this stage, are they? We know who's on old tires. Leave the penalties up for you so we can do the math. But yeah, Packer and Lando. It's really between those two for the title at this point, and Camden having another rough race, so his title bid compromised a little bit with a P8 finish. He probably, yeah, I guess he's P8. Actually, he's going to lose out to Zamoglis here. That's not going to help the situation. Let's get back to this battle. Smoglis will gain all these places on penalties, possibly even on Axton, who's picked up a penalty now, 3 seconds. Yeah, it looks like it. Huff and Doth carrying 30 seconds worth of penalties for the team. That's a pit stop's worth. So it's more than a pit stop's worth. Here comes Axton. He's going to make a move on Beck here. Very short straight. Beck covers that off. Closing the door here. That's going to give Axton DRS though. Expect him to capitalize on that with the DRS. Moglis chasing down Camden. We are on the final lap of the Mexican Grand Prix. Plenty of racing action through the whole field. Well, for half the race at least. For the second half of the race, it's mostly just been these guys. But at least there's been some good head-to-head battles out there. So Jinnit and Camden fighting head-to-head. Back with 6 seconds of penalties. So Jinnit, I don't think he's going to make up 3 seconds here, but he's trying to. Okay, now it's the final lap for these guys. All right. So Moglis trying to reel in Camden. I think he's going to get it done here. Zem, without the penalties, gets that place. That'll just help him close up to the guys ahead with penalties. Yeah, he might even get Axton here, but I don't think so. It'll be tough. We'll see how it all pans out at the end. That's it. Lando has crossed the line in P1, well ahead of the rest of the field. He wins round 6 of Tier 1, the Mexican Grand Prix. Here comes Packer. A formidable drive nonetheless, where P2 seems miles behind, but he's still well ahead of everyone else. He's slowing right down for some reason. And J. Cole takes P3. Dernia, the confetti going. Dernia with a really solid drive there, secures P4. And wouldn't you know it, it's his teammate Joshua, tucked in behind, who may actually get his teammate Dernia. If he can make up a 2/10 here, he might jump him. I don't think so. No, he's 2/10 behind, so Joshua takes 5th. Axton goes into P6. Jinnit down to 8th. So Moglis makes up a lot of ground there. It's just P7. Beck, Jinnit misses out on P8 by 800ths. Camden will slot into P10, only gets 1 point here. Maverick misses out on the points. So what was glory in Tier 2 of Season 4, securing a championship, he hasn't even scored a point here today. And that's the story of Tier 1, really. That's how it goes. Really is... really is a competitive tier. It's tough to win here, let alone get points or podiums. Here he is. Mr. Schumacher out on the top step again. That'll be Excel Lando, actually. And then we got Packer, P2. And P3 for J. Cole. Nice result from J. Cole there. So we're going to have 2 Brits in our North American Tier 1 podium interviews. They're invading. So 2 Brits on the podium. Beck, the Scotsman, and Jinnit, the other Brit, P8 and 9. Turning through the order, Lando wins it. Packers P2, J. Cole P3, Dernia P4, Joshua takes P5. Axton P6. Zem is P7. As we mentioned, Beck and Jinnit 8th and 9th. Camden 10th. JXW 11th. Maverick 12th. Eric 13th. Doth 14th. Frog 15th. Ryan 16th. Puff in 17. T-Money in 18. Technically does finish, but 4 laps down. And Porchy Dude crashed out of... Actually, I believe he retired. I think he retired on track, but I'm not sure what happened exactly. His best lap was a 121, so he probably was having a pretty rough time out there. He just wasn't feeling it. Yeah, that's it for Tier 2. Or sorry, Tier 1. Round 6. Thank you for the follow there, Gustoten. You can also give the ZOR YouTube page a follow. You get the live notifications. It's usually 8 p.m. Mondays and Thursdays we go live. And Sundays around 3 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. Eastern. I believe that would be 9 p.m. this week. There's a bit of a weird window there because of the daylight savings, but nonetheless, get those live notifications. Hit subscribe on the YouTube page. Racing 3 times a week here in ZOR, and you can get some great commentary. Guys like Packer, Camden, they run things Thursday night. Some other guests rotating through. Puff and Jinnit, I believe, did it last week. Sunday, you get Packer and other various guests joining there. So, great commentary all around. I'm Arbiga. You can follow me on Twitch. The same way it's spelled here on PlayStation. You can follow me on PlayStation and Twitch. And we're going to get these guys in here for an interview. So just sit tight and we'll have the podium guys in for an interview briefly. Anybody's got any questions in the chat? Well, let's do a chat question since we don't have a co-commentator tonight. So I'm going to get Packer in. Hopefully he can just add those guys. Can you just add those two? I don't think I have either of them.
Yeah, I can.
Very professional up here. There we go.
Okay, cool. Let me just get...
J. Cole, Lando, and Packer.
Yep.
Who saw that one coming?
Definitely not me.
Yeah. J. Cole was pretty quick tonight. Do you think you... I guess so. We'll wait till we get a word from Lando first, but... to hell with it. We'll go out of order today. Packer, tell me about the race. What were you thinking? You said it was surprising for you. What do you mean by that? You think you should have won the race, really, and things just didn't really go your way? Or did you think you had the pace to beat Lando tonight? He's been really strong the last few races. He's really cementing his claim for the title.
Yeah. To be honest, this was the first race where I thought I could beat Lando on pure pace, and obviously, a few mistakes for myself, and it didn't end up working out the way that I would have liked it to. A few spins, just mistakes in general. It just wasn't the greatest night for me, I guess. But yeah, gap is 5 points in the championship now, so I don't have many more tracks where I can beat Lando, or where I think I can beat Lando on pure pace, so I think he's almost got the championship wrapped up now.
Well, unless he takes a couple more weeks off or something, but I wouldn't say it's wrapped up. You know, plenty can go wrong. He just it's funny I say this because the first race it looked like he was going to win. He ended up crashing and retired on track with a big crash. So yeah, I was going to say it doesn't look like he makes a ton of mistakes, but I guess if they do happen, they're pretty bad ones. But yeah, I think there's still plenty to fight for. Obviously, you've got pace everywhere. You show that in qualifying every week. It's just it seems on the race pace, Lando seems to have the edge there in the race pace, at least at the moment.
Yeah, race pace, he's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Well, compared to me at least. But yeah, just so many mistakes tonight. I'm really kind of mad at myself, but it's still second place. But yeah, the championship is getting a little bit closer than I would have liked to, especially with Lando not scoring in the first two races.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for sure. Lando's definitely put in some strong performances, so I would say, yeah, it's looking like if you're placing bets now, then he's probably slightly overtaken the favorite bet. But, you know, like I said, there's still plenty to play for, and lots can happen out there. I mean, all it takes is a rough start from somebody that makes a silly move, and Lando could end up down at the back of the grid or even out of the race or something. So, again, P2, I mean, if you're not going to finish first, you got to finish second, right? So,
Yeah,
that's
second
what you got to do.
slot.
It definitely can be frustrating, though, absolutely, when you make a mistake, and it just makes things even more difficult. Were you thinking of pitting? Were you going to stay out, perhaps, or once you spawned, it was kind of like, well, I have to pit now?
Well, I completed the strategy that I wanted to do, soft, medium, soft, and I thought I was pretty decent on the mediums, but after that spin, my race kind of just went
Yeah.
down the drain very, very quickly.
Yeah, that's how it is for a lot of guys. Tier 1, you really can't afford to make mistakes, especially if you're competing at the front. It's going to cost you dearly. So we'll move on to the race winner now. That's Lando. Another great result. He's sort of overtaken the championship favorite odds. They're posted somewhere. If you look in the dark web, they're out there. Someone's betting on this stuff out there. But yeah, now moving towards looking like you could probably secure a championship here if you just keep this pace up and keep showing up with this consistency week in, week out. So how are you feeling after that race? It looked like Packer might have been a little quicker in qualifying at times, but in the practice session especially, he had a really, really solid lap on the board and just never actually got back there during the qualifying session. So what do you think moving forward into the next week? You think you can keep building on this, or is there any tracks coming up that you're not so fond of that maybe Packer could maybe get you back at?
Yeah, a bit relieved because Mexico was always going to be a struggle. I think I was even going into it thinking J. Cole could be up there as well because I know he's actually got quite a bit of pace on his day around Mexico.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a few mistakes from Packer, and that's all it took in the end to manage to come away with the win. A few too many penalties from myself that I thought, well, at one stage they definitely were going to cost me, but yeah, just a bit lucky. I think it was more of a luck race. I think it's a race that you end and you want to celebrate, but at the same time you kind of know it's more being the other drivers around you that's kind of made errors. Obviously, also with Packer's 5 second stop and go.
Yeah.
I think even without the spins, and if I'd got maybe one, probably it would have had to be two. Less penalties, even just a 5 second time penalty probably would have been enough to cost him the win. But yeah, the two spins as well, just making it a little bit easier. But yeah, the championship definitely is quite close now. I think the next three tracks are quite good ones, but then we go on to a few that are like not amazing for me. So just trying to pick up as many points as possible before then.
All right. Sounds good. Obviously, we're looking forward to it. You guys have put on quite a show at the front, and last season Packer was pretty dominant, and now you're really applying that pressure to him, and you can see it. And something like Packer making a mistake like that, it's not something we would have really seen last season at all. But now, there's that someone there that's forcing that sort of driving on the edge even more. Which he literally does. If you watch a qualifying lap, he's literally millimeters from invalidating a lot of his laps, and I gotta say, one of the best guys at using the most of the track to get the most pace out of his laps. So definitely, it'll be a tough challenge for you, but you're looking strong, and it's been some really good results when you have shown up, and I think your track record's getting a little bit better. So you missed a couple of races there at the start of the season, but ultimately you've erased that deficit that you would have had from those, and definitely going to have a good title fight on our hands as we approach the I guess we're about a third of the way through the season now, roughly, and we'll move on to the P3 finisher. That is J. Cole. Welcome back to the podium interviews. Been a few weeks since you were here, but nonetheless, you're back up there. Did you think you could compete at, like, the first few laps? It looked like you actually might have been able to hang with these guys, and then ultimately the pace just fell off. What were you thinking heading into the race during qualifying, and then in those first few laps? Like, where did you see yourself slotting in by the time it was all said and done?
I knew to start off with that Packer and Lando were quicker than me at this track, so I knew really it was just trying to hold off the rest of the guys behind me. And to be honest with you, the first couple of laps I was more surprised that I did keep up with them.
Yeah.
There was a couple of occasions where I know this is going to sound like an excuse, and I'm sure Lando and Packer have heard of what happened to a certain someone in another league over the weekend. For some reason, my wheel was actually a little bit loose. So in the first two stints, it was just trying to sort of get that back on and making sure that it was okay. The final stint was fine for me, but yeah, I can't. It's going to sound like an excuse, but overall, those two were just quicker than me. I'm more just happy the fact that I ended up finishing P3 despite the amount of penalties I picked up.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, a really good result. Obviously, when you're racing these two, you kind of just have to accept that you're probably going to finish behind them. It's just the reality of it. But yeah, I was surprised too as well at the start there. I was thinking, like, because you in qualifying were a decent chunk behind them. It seemed like obviously those two were going to be out the front. But yeah, hanging with them in the first few laps, it looked like there could potentially be a three-way fight. But you sort of settled into a nice cushion there where there wasn't much pressure from behind. And then obviously the guys, once they get away out front, I do find personally when I'm driving it sort of relaxes me. It's almost like, okay, I'm not going to catch those guys anymore. There's no pressure. I don't have to push. Like now I'm still gaining on the guy behind me, and you can really settle into a nice groove there and sort of just focus on. It's sort of like mentally easier to accept, especially earlier in the race. Say lap 4 or 5, you can sit there and go, okay, well, it looks like I'm not catching those guys, but I'm still quicker than the guy behind me, so I'm going to get P3. I just got to not make mistakes. And it just sort of gives you a nice, comforting feeling that you can carry through the race. Obviously, it's a little different, if you feel that way and then towards the end a mistake happens or something clumsy happens where you can tag another driver or something like that, then that could be really frustrating, right? But nonetheless, another good result. You and Ginnet looked pretty quick there in qualifying. Unfortunately, Ginnet's race didn't go quite as well as yours did. A little bit of a spin there, cost him some places, and then it was a bit of a half spin, I guess. But he made up most of the ground he lost, and but ultimately, like, you just sort of carried that Mercedes team up at the front and did a nice job out there tonight. So that'll be it for Mexico. We're gonna wrap things up. If anybody's got anything to add before we go, feel free.
No.
Can't think of anything though.
What's that? You're good?
Yeah, all good.
All right, everybody's good. Let's wrap it up. It's already 9:33. It's getting kind of late. We're going to wrap things up here. This has been Round 6, Zenith Online Racing. This is Tier 1. I'm Arbiga, signing off. You can tune in Thursday night, 8 p.m. You'll catch the Tier 2 race, possibly Packer broadcasting. We don't know who's going to be there. We got a nice revolving door of commentators here, and you can tune in Thursday night and find out who your commentators are. And surely be another action-packed race, as well as the EU Tier Sunday afternoon in the UK and Sunday evening here in North America. Have a good night, everybody.